Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome to another flight with the fly-by-wire Airbus A380 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We're in Dubai again and we are going to fly to Hong Kong today on the Emirates flight 380 with quite a fitting call sign for our aircraft. So let's get inside and let's make our way to the flight deck. The jetway did dock at the 2 left door today. Well, 2 lower left, I guess. So we gotta make our way through business class over here on the way up. And did I call this business class? No, this gotta be premium economy. It's Emirates after all. This would be too cheap for business class, right? Alrighty. Let's make our way up into the flight deck where we can start our setup. Also, we are flying this one on VATSIM today, and at least in Dubai we should have ATC online. We'll see about our arrival in Hong Kong. With a bit of luck, we might be able to get some ATC there as well. Okay, let's take a seat on the captain's seat and get our table out so that we can start some of the flight preparation. We'll start this one by going through the flight plan, and we are going to do that just about now. And our flight plan comes straight from SimBrief again. Emirates 380 Dubai to Hong Kong on the Alpha 6 Alpha Oscar Golf. 484 passengers on board, 8.5 tons of cargo. Sounds just about fine. So this is our route. Heading across the Indian Ocean and then straight across India and into China, from where we are going to start our approach into Hong Kong. Now, looking at the significant weather chart, you can immediately see why we are going to have a very short flight time of only 6 hours and 15 minutes today, because we are basically following those jet streams all the way over into China, giving us perhaps a little bit of turbulence, even though there is none marked on the significant weather charts at all, but shortening our flight time significantly. Let's go ahead and have a look into the airport weather then. We have one SIGMET in the Guangzhou FIR, which is for severe turbulence, forecast between flight level 160 and flight level 400. The good news is that we will mostly be able to avoid that FIR today though. Now, going a little bit further down, our departure airport Dubai features good weather conditions all over, and for our destination Hong Kong, good weather is forecast as well. Temperatures of 22 degrees, bringing us nicely into the warm. Now, our alternate Guangzhou is also going to give us good weather conditions all over the day, with highest temperatures of around 24 degrees throughout the day, and most importantly, good and fair flying conditions. Well, and that is our weather. So let's go into the flight plan, scroll up a little bit. So in terms of fuel, they want us to depart with 95 tons on board, and we gotta ask ourselves, do we need a little bit more? I would say maybe. So in order to correct for any possible higher fuel burn, since the fly-by-wire isn't exactly ironed in yet, we are gonna take a little bit more here. Let's take 2,000 kilos, well, let's make that 5,000 kilos. We'll take 100 tons of fuel, and that'll keep us happy. Now let's go up in the flight plan for a little bit. If we decide to go with 5 tons more, of course we gotta check that we are within the maximum takeoff and the maximum landing weights, which we all are. So I'd say we are good to go with 100 tons of fuel. Well, and that's the basic decisions made, so let's go right into it and prepare our aircraft for today's service before our passengers arrive. So the engine masters are off, the start switch is in norm, the weather radar is turned off anyway, landing gear lever is down, wiper selectors are off. So battery is coming on, external powers 2, 3, 1 and 4 are coming on, and then we can give it a short while here to start powering up, and normally we would use that time to tune the active ATC unit. Today though, I am going to skip over that part because, well, you know, it's just a little, well, busy on VATSIM right now, so we don't want that talking all the time. Now, here we go, the aircraft is powering up, the cockpit lights can be set, and most importantly, I just want the ambient and the floodlights off.
Okay.
Like that. Alright then, let's go up, turn on the IRSs, which we'll need a little bit of time to align here, And while all of that is ongoing, we can do the fire tests, which are looking good, and then start up the APU so that it will be nice and cozy once our guests come on board. Alright, nav flight is also going on for the colleague heading out for the walk around in a few moments, and then we can head over to the electronic flight bag and start to load our aircraft. Now we are going to import the SimBrief data over here and then head right down to the payload section. So we'll take our payload directly from SimBrief, which is what we have over here, and then we'll also go for the fuel, where we'll use a tiny bit more than what we had in here. So here we go, 101.2 is already 6 tons more than what we originally wanted, but better safe than sorry. After all, we did make our experience with this aircraft, so we better want to be on the safe side here. Okay, the aircraft is now all fueled up, and then we can start to prepare our charts. I will go for my beloved Lido charts today. So, Dubai International, quick check at the weather down here, 180 at 7, Cav OK, 18 degrees, QNH 1022. And, well, if we already have a QNH, then let's dial it in straight away as well. Here we go, 1022. Well, and then we can go for the charts. We are probably going to depart runway 30 right today. Let's pin that one, and then we should have some A380 charts over here as well. Ground chart, 30 right, A380. And that's probably going to be the only one we'll need, I guess. Let's bring it up and have a look, and indeed, that's the only one we will need today. Perfect, so with that, our charts are prepared. Then let's quickly head over here and go into the SimBrief dispatch, where we can view our flight plan as well. And with that, our EFB is prepared for operations. Now, all of that out of the way, they can start the service. Refueling of the aircraft is already complete, 101.2 tons are on board, so let's switch on the signs and the APU bleed, and then we'll also just set the cockpit temperature to something nice. Alright, then let's ensure our aircraft is safe for service. We have enough oxygen, we have enough hydraulics, we know that the engine indications are, or the engine oil quantities are bugged at the moment, but that's set. And then let's go ahead and cross-check our flaps. Lever is up, flaps are up, speed brakes are in, and agree with the lever as well. So, parking brake is released. Then let's do the alternate brake test. So, press the pedals, observe the pressure, and then we can release that again and set the parking brake again. Now, you will notice that the accu pressure has depleted a little bit. We know that the area outside the aircraft is clear at the moment, so let's go over to the hydraulic systems and turn on the electric pumps, provided we can actually find them. I believe they're up here. And we are looking for the yellow system, if I'm not mistaken. So let's turn on the yellow electric pump. And you can see that's recharged the accumulator pressure down here. Then we turn the pump back off, close the guard again, and that's it. Perfect. So with that, we are done with our safety inspection. Let's go into the flight deck preparation. So, cockpit preparation procedure, fairly easy. Our colleague is out for the walk around by now. For us, there is not all that much to set here, to be honest. Fueling is complete, so the pumps are coming on. Like that, we already did the fire test. And on the right side, there is not a lot to set. However, today we do have some temperature-sensitive cargo, so we got to keep the aft cargo compartment down at 5 degrees. The front cargo compartment doesn't really matter, so we'll just keep it on the default position. Okay, then down to the main panel. QNH is set. It is the 5th of January 2025. And, well, down here, everything is set. We'll keep the frequencies as they are for the time being, and, well, then let's go into the FMS setup. And for that, we will, of course, bring up our flight plan over here again. I do really like that EFB, the way they've designed it in FS24. Did I ever mention that? A380, Trent engines, current database, and then let's go to the flight plan initialization. So, company flight plan request. That is going to take a little while, and while that's in progress, I suggest that we are already going to listen to the Asus so that we know what we'll be up to. So, safe charts, ground chart, then let's see where the Asus is located. Here it is, departure Atus 131.7.
Temperature 22. Viewpoint 2.9.
Okay, let's give this a listen.
Altimeter 1019. HPA. View clouds at 4900. Advise aircraft type on first contact. During pushback and taxi. False assigned transponder code. Enhanced wake turbulence separation in force. Advise ATC prior to entering runway if additional wake turbulence separation is required. Minimum runway occupancy required. Advise ATC cotted kilos. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Kilos.
Okay, we have Atus Kilo, that much is noted. Now we just need the runways.
Dubai International Airport departure Kilo. At time 1130 Zulu Special. Departure runway 30 right. Surface wind variable at 9. Visual visibility 10 kilometers or more. Temperature 22. Viewpoint 2.
Okay, so 30 right, variable at 9, so we're gonna calculate a 10 knot tailwind here. Well then, let's get rid of that frequency, by the way. Here we go, turn that off. Alright, uplink insertion still in progress. Man, that takes a while today. I wonder why that is. So, the request is still in progress. Interesting. Well, otherwise we might just override everything manually. I have a feeling we might have to do that, since, for some reason, it seems to take very, very long today. Let's see, if we just leave that page for a second and go back onto it. Nope. Alright, well, doesn't matter. Then we are going to insert the flight plan manually. So, flight number will be UAE 380. We are going to depart OMDB, and our destination is Victor Triple Hotel. Our alternate Zulu Triple Golf. Cruise flight level initially 370, and the cost index for this one is going to be, I believe, 69 for Emirates. The wind component will be a tailwind of 82 knots. And then, IRSs are aligned, perfect. Then, for the departure, runway is going to be 30 right. And the SID is planned as the Ivoro 1 Foxtrot, and that's planned and insert. Now we've got to enter all those airways manually here, so Ivoro airway, and we'll proceed via Mike 428 to Munga. Then we continue along Alpha 777 towards Vaksim. And then Lima 301 towards Raski. Then we continue via Lima 639 towards Bravo Papa Lima. Alpha 7901 to Charlie Echo Alpha. Bravo 465 to Charlie Tango Golf. Then we have Alpha 599 towards Papa Oscar Uniform. And last but not least, we continue via Romeo 473 to Sierra. And that is our flight plan. So, insert all of that. And last but not least, Hong Kong arrivals. We plan on runway 25 left for the time being, but we'll see what we'll actually get later on. And it looks like they don't have any arrivals for that, is that right? Huh, that's interesting. Okay, well, so no runways for the time being. Okay, we're gonna deal with that. We might just have to create the approach manually as well. I suppose the fact that it can't load any data here in Hong Kong is probably the reason why it didn't... It's probably the reason why it didn't import the flight plan in first place. In any case, Hong Kong 25 left is entered, and then, since we entered the entire flight plan manually, we better pay close attention to that it actually looks correct as well. So let's just bring that thing up. Then let's have a look into our SID chart. And here it is. So, Delta Bravo 570, minimum 180 knots. Well, that's minimum, so there is nothing in here, that's fine. Then we continue via Delta Bravo 560 and Delta Bravo 576 above 3000, maximum 220 knots. Then via 569er above 4000, Kupor above 5000, Ukra above 7000, Vaxup above 10,000, Ludev above 11,000, and then we've got Get It and Ivuro. Alright, and then let's just scroll through the flight plan to ensure that there is nothing abnormal there. Whenever you enter a flight plan manually, it's always a good idea to do these checks. And it looks like everything is there. Perfect. Well then, let's continue on the init page. So next up we go to the nav aids, but we don't need to enter anything since basically they don't have any nav aids anymore in Dubai. So over to the performance, and our planned zero fuel weight is 358.8. And the block fuel 101.2 for the time being. Taxi fuel will take a ton. Alternate fuel is going to be 6.8. And the final reserve fuel is going to be 5.2. Right, passenger numbers will be left open until the boarding is actually completed. Cost index 69 is okay, and that's it. Then last but not least, let's go for the takeoff performance. And we can do those calculations over in SimBrief. So let's bring up SimBrief. Here it is, and then takeoff performance. A380-800. Let's take a little higher takeoff weight here. 459. Optimum. That's all looking good. So for the wind, we want a direct tailwind at 10 knots. The temperature is 18, and for the QNH, we said we have 1022. Okay, calculate that. Config 1, pretty high speed, stop margin 46 meters. I kind of have the tendency to go to config 2 here. Stop margin 1 meter. Okay, isn't much better. Well, this is the point where I would ideally want to change the flex temperature to a slightly lower degree, but what I'm gonna do instead is I will change the takeoff runway length to 3,800, and that way it's going to force the entire thing to recalculate here, and that is what we've done now. So config 2, 57 degrees, and that's gonna be our takeoff speeds right over here. Bleeds on, well, let's reselect for a bleed off takeoff, and that's a degree more. Select the temperature. Perfect. So those are the data we are going to take. So for the basics, config 2 and 58 degrees with packs off. So flaps 2, packs off, flex at 58. And then we'll take our speeds of 134, 145 and 152. Okay, perfect. We don't need to pre-select anything since we have all the relevant restrictions in our flight plan. Reduction and acceleration at 1500 each, and the transition altitude is going to be 13,000 here in Dubai. Let's quickly cross-check that. Yep, 13,000 it is. Perfect, and that's our FMS preparation completed. Initial climb will be by ATC, but we can just go up here already. And most likely it's going to be 4,000. Alright, pretty much like that. Well then, 1 minute to go until our scheduled off-block time. I can already tell you we are not going to make that, but I suppose we can go ahead and call for ATC clearance already. So at the moment we do have a ground online on 118.35. Dubai ground, salam alaikum, Emirates 380 Super. Information, well, currently not online. Request clearance to Hong Kong, Airbus A380.
Emirates 380, please stand by. Let me check with Asus.
Okay.
Qatari 1007, please stand by.
He's just checking the ATIS. Thereafter we are probably going to get our clearance. Well, suppose we're going to make good use of that time by going for the departure briefing, if you're ready. Yeah, ready anytime. Wonderful. So, Dubai, runway 30 right, and we will take into consideration the intersections. I've calculated 3,800 meters of takeoff run available here. So, Ivoro, 1 Foxtrot departure, initial climb to 4,000, MSA is going to be about 3,500, and the extra fuel and time are about 6 tons, respectively half an hour. And that's just about perfect. Then for our taxi, we have a runway crossing, which we'll carefully conduct, and stop margin for ejected takeoff is about 50 meters if we go immediately from the intersection. In case of an immediate return, we can come back over here to Dubai. The engine out would take us straight at 25 miles, so Dubai is in the area. Al Maktoum is also in the area. And we aren't that heavy today, around 460 tons. Still 70 tons overweight, but doesn't sound too bad overall. Okay, I don't have any special operations or non-standard operations. Do you see any threats for the departure? No? Perfect. Then just one miscellaneous item here. Due to the speed restriction at 220 knots, we might have to keep the flaps extended in position number 1 until we are clear of that restriction. But that's kind of standard procedure here in Dubai anyway, so happy with that. Okay, any questions? No? Wonderful. In that case, cockpit preparation checklist, please. So, gear pins and covers removed, fuel quantity. So that's 101.2 tons and balanced. Barrel reference, QNH 1022. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright. So that much for the basics. Now we just need our clearance. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start to prepare the aircraft here. So prepare for pushback and departure. So it looks like the other guy isn't answering then. Dubai ground, salam alaikum, Emirates 380 requests clearance to Hong Kong.
Emirates 380, you are cleared to destination as filed via Ivoro 1 Foxtrot departure for runway 30 right, maintain altitude 4,000 feet after departure, squawk 6216.
Emirates 380 is cleared to Hong Kong via Ivoro 1 Foxtrot departure, runway 30 right, climb 4,000 feet, squawk 6216.
Emirates 380, your read back is correct. Information Lima, current QNH 1019, report 194 push.
We'll check information Lima QNH 1019, Emirates 380. Okay, Ivuro 1 Foxtrot is confirmed, and 4,000 feet.
Further ATC available. Monitor Unicom 122 this minute. Have a nice flight. Bye bye.
Okay, and the squawk is 6216. Perfect. So with that, we are good to go. Let's see. I think they're connecting the tug right now. Yes, they are. Perfect. Let's say hello to our passengers, and then we can go. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Emirates, I would like to welcome you aboard flight 380 on board this Airbus A380 to Hong Kong. Today's flight time is going to be 6 hours and 15 minutes. We expect a smooth flight, initially in 37,000 feet, later on 39,000 feet. For now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And if there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. Okay, so they are ready down there. Then by now we should have received the load sheet, so let's take a quick look. We have a zero fuel weight of 358.8. And 358.8 is in here as well. The CG is 33.1.
Emirates 6 already taxi.
Insert that, and the passengers are 484, so it's a full load today. Okay, perfect. Our takeoff weight is as predicted then, so we can keep our takeoff performance. And in here, THS is going to be 39.9. Alright, so that's everything entered.
Hotel, taxi via Zulu.
Okay, so ground power units are still connected. Let's remove those.
3, hold at kilo 11.
And ground power units are removed. Alright, so transponder on. Let's go. Emirates 380 Super, request pushback and startup.
Emirates 380, pushback approved, face east onto Zulu.
Pushback approved, face east onto Zulu, Emirates 380. Okay, continue pushback, and we are facing east on Zulu. Well, we can only do west on Zulu. That's annoying. Well, let's do straight pushback then.
3107, pushback approved, face east onto Zulu.
Or shall we? Yeah, I guess we probably have to. Alright, straight pushback. And that's more or less leading us onto Zulu. You can see Zulu is over here. He wants us to face east, so over there. So straight push is more or less going to accomplish that.
Contact onto Dubai, Emirates Zeda.
Okay, V4 start checklist, please.
Decimal 15.
So, park and brake, set, takeoff speeds and thrust. V1 134, VR 145, V2 152, flex 58. V4 start checklist complete. Ground from flight deck, go ahead. So, push approved and park and brake is released. Roger, start on the pushback.
Please stand by, Dubai ground will be back in a minute.
Okay. So, since it will be a rather short pushback, let's go ahead and start the engines straight away. Okay. Sequence will be 1, 2, 3, 4, starting engines 1 and 2. Oh, that's some lovely lack there. Okay, that looks like we have almost 2 good engine starts. And then we're ready for engines 3 and 4. It looks like GSX is finished pushing. Well, I don't like this position. So interrupt pushback, yes. Pushback. System on. Yes, confirm.
Dubai ground, Emirates 6773 with information Lima, request time bar to Heathrow.
Will it? No, it won't. Okay. He's away from keyboard.
Oh, okay.
That guy came new onto the frequency.
All stations, steady check, can anyone hear me?
5x5.
Fine.
Alright, so we have 4 good engine starts and, well, unfortunately a not optimal pushback.
Commands again, request again.
Yeah, Dubai ground, Emirates.
In any case, 4 good starts, so clear to disconnect, clear signal in front please, and have a good day.
Emirates 6773, you are clear to Heathrow as filed via REDAP to Foxtrot departure, maintain altitude 4000 feet, squawk 0571.
Okay, so clear signal should be received by now, then let's go ahead with the after start checklist please. Anti-ice, off, after start checklist complete. Flight control check, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral.
FedEx 4560 radio check.
FedEx 4560, radio 5x5.
Emirates 380 Super, request taxi.
Emirates 6773, your feedback is correct. Information Lima current, QNH
Nope.
1019, report when ready for push.
Roger, we'll report and copy the QNH Emirates 67.
Emirates 380, request taxi. Hello?
Emirates 380, taxi via Zulu, left onto Juliet 3, hold kilo 11.
Taxi via Zulu, left onto Juliet 3, hold short kilo 11, Emirates 380.
Emirates 67, holding short 30,
Alright.
Emirates 827, are you on frequency?
Ground Emirates 827, request
Ouch.
pushback and start.
Emirates 827, pushback.
Alright, we're going via Zulu, Juliet 3, hold short kilo 11.
Pushback approved, face west onto uniform, Emirates 827, thank you.
FedEx 4560, stand Charlie 25, request IFR clearance to Doha with information Lima.
FedEx 4560, you are clear to Doha Hamad as filed via Navix 3 Foxtrot departure, maintain altitude 4000 feet, squawk 6266.
Okay, so on to Zulu, then we taxi basically past the terminal, and that's where we find Juliet 3, where we go to the left and hold short of the departure runway, or rather of the arrival runway.
FedEx 4560.
Emirates 622, you with me?
Okay. So, I have no changes to the takeoff briefing. Everything's as we've already discussed it. Sounds very good.
Roger. Emirates 622,
Okay then.
you are clear to destination as filed via 1 Foxtrot departure, maintain altitude 4000
So,
feet,
everything's set down here.
squawk 0543.
The smoke 0543. Departure
Okay, taxi checklist. Flight controls, checked. Flap setting, config 2. Radar, on. Taxi checklist, complete.
Yeah, Float 1252, I'm just sending you the flight plan. Please stand by 1 minute.
Alright, we're clear on the left side, and we're clear on the right side. Then Juliet 3 is going to be the next to the left.
Emirates 622, can you say again your clearance?
Okay then, and off to the left, hold short runway 30 left in Kilo 11. Kilo 11 is over here, that's identified.
Emirates 6 is radar 1 offline, so holding short runway 30 at Mike 1 for Alpha.
Emirates 6 Hotel, contact the Emirates radar. Okay, Emirates radar, you are fine. Sorry, monitor Honeycomb 122 display.
So radar went offline. Man, I asked them before I started the video if they're gonna stay.
X4560, pushback approved.
Okay, no crossing clearance so far, but the approach seems to be rather clear.
Emirates A380, monitor Unicom 122.8, have a nice day, bye-bye.
Monitor 122.8, Emirates 380, too bad you all went away. Dubai traffic, Emirates 30 Super crossing 30 left, holding short 30 right. Okay, clear on the right, clear on the left, and then we can cross 30 left and hold short behind the Emirates 777 over there.
Approaching 1, 2, right.
So if you people are asking me to do more VATSIM flights, this experience right here is basically one of them why I don't do them too often recently. Before I start recording the videos, I'm asking the controllers like, hey, I would love to record something, how long do you plan to stay online? Oh yeah, sure, I'll be there for your departure, and then they just go. Of course, can't expect anyone to stay online, but you know, if I send them a message, it would be kinda nice if they are gonna leave earlier, if they just tell me like, oh, sorry, I'll be done earlier, and then that's no problem, you know, but like this, you pick a departure airport because I had ground, tower, approach and radar, and now it's only ground and the rest is gone, so that is a little bit of a pity there. In any case, runway 30 right, line up and wait.
Approaching 30 right.
Okay, cabin crew, prepare for departure. Then the 777 in front of us is just about gone. That means we gotta wait a little bit for wake turbulence separation anyway. So let's do the lineup properly, and once we are lined up, we can run the lineup checklist, and by that time we will have all the necessary separation as well.
30 right.
Intentionally. Okay, lineup checklist. Takeoff runway, 30 right. Cabin crew, advised, packs 1 and 2, off, lineup checklist complete. Okay, are you ready? Then 30 right, cleared for takeoff. Dubai traffic, Emirates 380 Super, taking off 30 right. Manflex 58, SS runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. 100 knots. Checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav. Checked. Beautiful look at the skyline over there, isn't it? Sometimes I'm wondering what the fly-by-wire is doing in this aircraft, you know? I placed it at 12 degrees wings level before I went outside for the screenshots, and I'm coming back and I find it at 10 degrees banked. Thrust climb, auto thrust. Flaps 1, speed checked. Flaps 1. Autopilot 1. Now, as soon as we go into the green band over there, the flaps are automatically going to retract. Here you see it. Okay then, we continue the climb along the route and packs are going off. Well, and we're going to keep the flaps extended until... We're going to keep the flaps extended until we pass the 220 knot speed restriction. Now what is that guy doing there? Vertical speed. That guy flying VFR over Dubai, or what is he doing directly in the departure sector? Can't see him anywhere. Okay, looks like we are clear. Okay, thrust climb. All right.
By traffic Emirates 806 super 9090 left.
So, we're clear of any of that traffic now, it seems. Accelerating, and once we have a positive trend vector, flap 0. Speed checked, flap 0. Alright then, so with that we're up in the air, on the way, and then let's go ahead, climb to a higher flight level here. And then I suppose we are almost in Hong Kong already. Let's have a quick look at the estimated time of arrival. 14:01. I don't quite believe that. Schedule is 13:50, estimate is 13:10. I'm fairly sure this doesn't take the winds into account, even though I did enter the average winds on the init page. That's still there? Yeah. Trip wind, tail 82. That's probably what makes the difference there. 6 hours flight time with 82 knots of tailwind is 6 times 80, so That's more than a flight hour that we're saving there. Hey, passing 10,000. Lights off. We'll keep the passenger signs. Oh well, I'll tell you what, we don't need to keep them. It's all clear over here anyway. Alright, the ethos is set, and we don't have anything to clear our copy since the secondary isn't simulated, and we didn't enter any nav aids. Perfect, so optimum 360, we are planted level 370. That sounds just about perfect to me. Well then, I tend to say that's everything I can offer you for now. Enjoy the beautiful views, and later on the beautiful sunset, as we are going to approach Hong Kong, and then I see you all a little bit later when we start preparing our arrival routing.
Emirates 380, report your squawker.
Emirates 380, squawking 6216.
Emirates 380 identified, clear Sierra 7 Alpha arrival. You can see a star to flight level 110.
Cleared Sierra 7 Alpha arrival, descend via star flight level 110, Emirates 380. And with that, we are approaching Hong Kong. Now, we did have the little problem that our star was not selectable on the FMS. Now, in order to mitigate against that problem, I have entered the star more or less manually. We cleared the Sierra 7 Alpha arrival, and that's going to be from Sierra 280 knots over there, over to Canto, and then Murray, Silva, and Leams. The only problem is that after Murray, we cannot select any of those waypoints except for Leams anymore. So we will need radar vectoring here, which we can advise air traffic control of just now. In Hong Kong, Emirates 380.
Emirates 380, go ahead.
Emirates 380, due to trouble with our FMS, we are unable enough after Canto. We require radar vectors after Canto.
Emirates 380, no problem. Expect vector to final for runway 07 left after Canto.
Vectors for the ILS 07 left after Canto, Emirates 380, thank you. Okay, wonderful. So we're outside of Chinese airspace, that means we can turn the meters overlay on our altimeter off, and then we are pretty much all prepared. Now Sierra is in 7 nautical miles. We do have a speed restriction of 280 knots there, according to the standard arrival. And then I'd say in order to bring you into the loop for our expected arrival route, we will change over to the standard approach briefing format and then talk about anything necessary. So, it's the first officer's turn then. Well, the arrival is the Sierra 7 Alpha arrival with radar vectors after Kanto. MSA-wise, we have 4,100, all within the Hong Kong FIR only. Now, the runway is going to be 07 left with an ILS approach, which has a minimum of 223 feet. Now, in case of a go-around, we will require radar vectors, and we will talk about that with air traffic control here momentarily. Extra fuel and time. Looking down here, we have 23.4 tons at the moment, so plenty of fuel, and that equals to around, well, let's call it 45 minutes. Alright, so flight director guided ILS approach, landing config 3 and stop margin is more than enough. However, I have programmed our brake to vacate the runway at the very end. We will use reverse thrust in idle and vacate the runway at the end, crossing 07 center on the way in, and then we'll see where they are going to park us. In terms of specials, we do not have the approach in the database, so in order to mitigate against that, I have programmed the ILS frequency manually over here, and we can, oopsie, we can cross-check that down here in the Navigraph charts, ILS 07 left. And that's 111.55, final approach course 074, and the minimum is going to be 223. And that's basically it. Threats for the arrival is the high terrain. So what are we going to do against that? Well, terrain display seems to be currently inoperative in our A380 and FS 2024, but apart from that, we are doing well. Gonna have a good look outside and verify that we are indeed on the expected approach course.
Turn left heading 050.
Emirates 380, information Alpha on board, left heading 050. Okay, heading. Well, so that's pretty much it for the briefing. Any questions? No? Wonderful. Then the seatbelt sign can come on. And with that, we're on the vectors for the approach. Let's go ahead and turn the ambient light back off again. Pedestal floodlight can also go down to the minimum. And here we are.
And Emirates 380, just to confirm, are you also unable to fly the mid approach for runway 07 left?
Emirates 380, affirm.
Roger. Emirates 380, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1019.
Emirates 380, descend altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1019. Set. 40 blue, set QNH. QNH 1019, cross-check passing 12,100 now. Alright, couple of clouds here, but the temperature is 17 degrees, so nothing to worry about. And yeah, the problem with the missed approach is exactly the same as with the RNAV arrival, so we'll see if ATC is going to come up with anything for us over here, otherwise we will have to do it ourselves. So, Leams should be in 6,000, that means we are a little bit below the profile here, but we'll need a little bit of time to recover the vertical profile here as well.
Emirates 380, turn left heading 350.
Emirates 380, left heading 350. Okay, we're approaching 10,000, speed down to 50. Thrust idle, open descent. Alright, we can see the lights of Hong Kong coming up over there already. Beautiful.
8,000 feet, QNH 1019.
So then, let's give ourselves a direct to Leams, and then we'll clean up the flight plan thereafter.
Affirm, and descend to 8,000 feet, QNH 1019.
So Leams in here, insert that, and pull heading. Heading.
8,000 feet.
Alright, passing 10,000. Lights on, signs on. EFIS is
Emirates
set.
380, approximately free track miles to touchdown, descend to 3,000 feet.
Emirates 380, descent altitude 3,000 feet, copied. So I tend to say if we just let go in open descent, that is going pretty well. Cabin crew, prepare for landing. Alright, approach checklist. Barrow reference, QNH 1019R. Minimums, Barrow 223, auto brake, BTV. Approach checklist complete. Okay, about 21 miles to run, and we have 7,000 feet. That looks pretty good. Might have to help it a little bit in the later stages of the approach, but I don't want to get too low just here, because as we can see outside, there is still that little mountain in front of the airport. Interesting, can't move my chart any further.
Light for air,
There we go.
descend to 4,000.
That little mountain, I mean. That one that's just 3,000 feet high. So we're currently coming in over here. We can see the lights from all those little islands over here, so ATC got us on a radar vector, so it's nothing for us to worry about, but nonetheless it is something that we should always keep in mind when flying a procedure like this. Okay. So let's delete this. Yeah, insert, discontinuity, delete, and then we can delete Leams as well. Here we go. Alright, so with that our flight plan is tidied up. Then onto the approach phase, activate and confirm. First throttle, we had that anyway. Looks like we're paralleling the glide slope nicely here, so I'll keep going just like that. And if ATC wants us to slow down or do any changes, they will let us know anyway. Alright. So let's dim those lights a little bit further. Main panel floodlight, let's really bring that down a bit.
Emirates 380, descend to 2,000 feet.
Emirates 380, descend altitude to 2,000 feet. Alright, field on sight. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to fly visual approaches at night, otherwise I would have said field on sight request visual. But you can certainly see the danger of doing that, since right over here is where we find the cumulus granitos. And no, that is not some fancy type of cloud. Even though it closely relates to clouds, well, smoke clouds at least, when someone gets it wrong. Alright, we'll keep it at that. No German first officer stories. So let's see, the center fix is at 5 miles final. That means he's vectoring us onto around about an 8 miles final here. Let's start slowing down. I'll tell you what, let's just go managed speed. Doesn't hurt us to do that. And there is our airport. Gotta say that's looking gorgeous, isn't it?
Emirates 380, descend to 1,500 feet.
Emirates 380, descend 1,500 feet. So we're nicely below the glide. Flaps 1. Speed check. Flaps 1. And then we'll get the final vector any moment now.
Emirates 380, turn right heading 040, cleared ILS 07 left.
Emirates 380, turn right heading 040, cleared ILS 07 left. Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2, glide slope localizer blue. Speed vertical speed. Flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. And like that, we'll simply fly it onto the glide slope using vertical speed mode, and that's it. Waiting for the localizer to come alive, and here we go. Glide slope star, localizer star. Gear down. Flaps 3. Speed checked. Emirates 380 established.
Emirates 380, roger. Contact Hong Kong Tower, for money set will board. Bye-bye.
118.4, Emirates 380. Hong Kong Tower, good morning. Emirates 380 Super, established ILS 07 left.
Emirates 380, Hong Kong Tower, winds 1, clear wind 010 degrees, 7 knots, runway 07 left, clear land.
Runway 07 left, cleared land, Emirates 380. And just confirm the routing in case of a missed approach.
Emirates 380, case of missed approach, turn left heading 040 and climb to 5,000 feet.
In case of missed approach heading 040, altitude 5,000 feet, Emirates 380. Wow, superb. Alright, so landing checklist please. And landing checklist complete. Alright, now let's go ahead and have some fun. Cat 1. Checked. So, nice and stable at the gate.
Approaching 07 left.
The key to flying any large aircraft, be it a 737 or an A380, always is smooth and constant control inputs. Like, look at my thrust, I'm only doing minimal changes, if I'm doing any changes at all.
500.
And the same of course applies to all our other controls as well.
400.
Land.
300. 100 above.
Checked.
200. Minimum
Continue.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Right on the spot. Spoilers. What about the reverse? Here we go. Reverse green, BTV. And manual brakes.
Auto brake on.
We'll let it roll all the way to the end. That's where we gotta go anyway. And that is the conclusion of our flight, my friends. Alright, we'll just let it roll to the end. Who turned on the lights?
500 meters remaining.
Alright, we gotta vacate it over here. I would love to let it roll to the end, but It's so slow already. There is something called minimum runway occupancy time after all. Emirates 380 vacating.
Emirates 380, welcome to Hong Kong. Any stand preference?
Negative.
Emirates 380, roger. Left-hand Charlie, Echo, holding point Foxtrot 7, runway 07 center.
Left-hand Charlie, Echo, holding point Foxtrot 707 center, Emirates 380. Alright, so we continue via Charlie and Echo, holding point Foxtrot 7. That's first of all going to be a left-hand turn, and once we are on Charlie we will clean the aircraft up and then we'll deal with the further taxi routing. So, let's quickly get out the actual airport's ground chart here, because as nice as the OANS is, it's a good idea to just look ahead a little bit. So, the only question now is Charlie all the way to the end, then Echo, and Foxtrot 7 over here. So we'll roll to the end, follow the taxiway, and not take it into the water. That'd be supreme. And then initially a little bit to the left, to the right again, and hold short of the runway. So, Delta's next to the right, we continue to the end. Nice to see they got a lit road over here, making it a little bit easier not to just drive straight into the water if the taxiway lights should fail over here. Believe me, that's the kind of stuff you read in average media. Okay, 10 knots. Everything is clear on the right hand side. Okay, so far so good. Then Echo is going to be the first one to the left. So let's add a little bit of power. We don't want to waste time here. 30 knots shall be no problem on a straight line. Here we go. It really doesn't look like we're going 30 knots. This might as well just be 10 knots in a 737, just from the visual picture outside. That's always something you take into consideration when you're taxiing like this. Okay, first taxiway to the left. Now the question is, how many people are standing in the back already? In other words, we better brake carefully.
Left secure 3996 Hong Kong Tower, wind 010 degrees 7 knots, runway 07 left, clear to land.
Okay, speed 10 knots, here we go. Off to the left and then immediately to the right again.
Emirates 380 from Foxtrot 7, cross runway 07 center, taxi Alpha 11, Bravo 8, Bravo 7, and November 62.
Emirates 380 in Foxtrot 7, cross runway 07 center, taxi Alpha 11, Bravo 8, Bravo 7, stand November 62. Okay, confirm clear to cross, affirm clear to cross, and we're clear on the right side, and clear on the left side. So let's see, we're going Alpha 11, Bravo 8, Bravo 7, and then we've got to find the stand. So November 62 is over here, perfect. So more or less straight, then a right-hand turn towards the stand. Perfect, we can do that. So, lots of stands here. November was here already. November 62. Here we go. No follow me needed, and handling by Hong Kong Airport is fine. So, start APU. And strobe light off again. So, turning right. Here we go. Slowly start to get the grip of it, of how much oversteering you actually need to use in this aircraft. Unfortunately, the simulator is a little bit laggy here. I guess it's getting onto the limits of its VRAM usage. So, November 60 is over here, then November 62 is going to be the next one on the left-hand side. APU is available. The radar is off. November 62 is coming up. Alright, nice and slow. And here we go. So we go onto the full line, not onto the dash one.
Welcome to Hong Kong, any stand preference? Let's get 396, any stand preference?
I guess he knew that much.
396, roger, left hand, Charlie, Echo, holding point Foxtrot 7, runway 07 center.
Okay, A380 is on the docking system, then let's take it nice and slow.
Holding point Foxtrot 7, runway 07 center.
Okay, parking brake set, and APU is on the bus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cabin crew, all doors and park. Alright, my friends, we have made it! Let's also say thank you to ATC, because these were two very good controllers here. Emirates 380, thank you very much for the ATC. See you next time.
Happy New Year.
Nice and efficient, that's how I like it. Okay, so then engines are running down and the beacon goes off, the doors are disarmed, fasten seatbelts off, and last but not least, oh boy, getting all those fuel pumps off is always an exercise. Okay, parking checklist. So, parking record trucks, brake set, wing light, off, parking checklist complete. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hong Kong. I do hope you enjoyed this flight. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments below. As always, I'm really looking forward to it, since without your feedback I can't improve the channel. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe in order to support me, and if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.